it's okay, I'm going to Facebook to stream this.
Somebody on 202 joined us.
That's me, but I don't know what is going on again. I mean, I've done what I always do.
Hey, how are you?
I
don't see
your
picture.
Yeah, that's, I don't know what is going on. There's nothing here showing that I should click on the video.
Uh-oh. Did you, maybe you call on the phone line instead of the video?
No, Niason, hold on. You are, we're about to stream anyway. No, I could see you. Hold on.
If not, I'll have to go out and then
No. Hold on. Okay. All right. We're live, you know.
You see me now?
No.
I said we're live. You were on earlier, you know.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know what you did, but we're live on Facebook, so. I don't know if they're on. Okay, we have somebody else, you know. Nia, so I think you dialed in with your phone, but go ahead, you know.
That's what it looks like. I think let him get out and dial with the video. He called in with the phone because it's showing me phone from my side, from him. So Nia Song, can you get out of it and dial via video? Okay, he left.
Okay.
It's showing me the phone here.
Actually, we're already streaming live, so.
No problem. To our viewers, we apologize for some technical difficulties that we're going through right now. Our host, Nia Song, is about to come back online. He had accidentally dialed via phone, but we do need him to be on the video so that you can see his handsome face. Doctor's handsome face and my sister, beautiful Reverend Pam.
So, thank you to my beautiful sister. It runs in the family.
Yes, we want to wish everybody a very, very Merry Christmas coming up, as well as good health to each and every one of us, and a very, very prosperous new year that is also coming our way. And those of you who are just tuning in, our topic for today is Dr. Pam will actually announce it. Let me
cut your coat according to your cloth. Cut your coat.
On.
Yes.
It's still on phone. It's still on phone.
Let him just go ahead. I don't know what's wrong. He was on earlier.
I don't know. I mean, I was on earlier. I don't know what's going on here.
Oh,
well,
okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. I mean, you were on. I don't know what happened. You know, you are dialing by phone. You did not click Zoom. You did not click Zoom. So if you want, you can pause. Okay, whatever he does now, you know, we should just go with him.
All right. Cutting your coat according to your size is the topic for today. And while our esteemed doctor is still trying to face these challenges of our new technology, the Reverend Doctor will be on with us in a few seconds, momentarily, by God's grace. We shall continue with our esteemed sister, Reverend Pam, and myself, of course, Sylvia Litana Robertson, with our topic for today.
Thank you. While we're doing that, you know, with growing up, you know, we heard that you should cut your cloth according to your size, or cut your cloth according to your cut your coat according to your cloth, which means if you only have 1 yard of material, you cannot try to sew something that somebody who has 5 yards has. And another thing again is cut your cloth according to your size. Don't try to sew something that is too small or too big for you. But basically, when we say cut your coat according to your cloth, we are trying to discourage covetousness. You know, there are people that when they see Sister Sylvia on the air, they say, I have to have those those braids. I have to have those the pearls, the beads. You know, they say, Nia, so we see you, but we cannot hear you. So we'll definitely need to hear that editorial. So you need to turn on your audio. You need to turn on your audio, young man. Turn on your audio.
He'll come on as soon as he's online. We can continue without him for now.
Exactly. We're going to continue without him.
Yes.
So basically, you don't have to try to copy what somebody else's has. You must not have what somebody else has. You must not have what your neighbor has or what your friend has. You know, all that spirit of competition, rivalry is ridiculous. We're not talking about competition in capitalism. That's not what we're talking about. In that case, it's good. But we're talking about when you see your friend or your classmate or your colleague buys a car, you think you have to have it too, you know, or you see them wearing a red bottom shoe. I'm not going to call his name because he's not sponsoring this show. You want to go get a red bottom shoe too. It costs an average of $1,000. You know, you don't have to have a red bottom shoes. You know, somebody decides to mark them up and make them expensive, so everybody thinks if you wear red bottom shoes, it means you have arrived. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Sister Sylvia, while we're waiting for this young man to figure out his audio, what in your experience is the reason why our people don't stay within their limits? They try to live beyond their limits. And just for the record, I'm not saying our people are the only people that live beyond their limits. That's not what I'm saying. But this show is about our people, so both on the diaspora and on the continent. Sister Sylvia, take it away.
Yeah, thank you so much, Reverend Pam. It's always a pleasure to be with you on this program. And the topics that we have to discuss, or the topics we're discussing actually, are very pertinent to today's world and today's being of who we are as humans. The unfortunate thing is the word that I'm going to use is envy.
Yes.
Believe it or not, I have lost so many people that I thought, quote unquote, I would call friends at the time, because everybody believes Miss Sylvia is gassed up with billions and gazillions of dollars behind her. And that's not the case. They come home, they see my little humble home, they see the car I'm driving as a BMW, it's a Mercedes-Benz. The next day, I'm being talked about like I'm a prostitute. Oh, well, how can she afford to get this? How can she afford to get that? She's a single mother.
Their business.
Can you imagine? So anyway, a lot of them would even go and talk behind my back and fabricate stories that are not even true. Now, when we are cutting our coat according to your size, you don't know what I have gone through or been through to get to where I am.
Exactly.
You don't know what I'm going through at that moment in time that you're talking so badly about me or that you're envying me. Now, some of us, yes, it's true, we were blessed where we probably don't have to work menial jobs or do the small jobs here. You get straight into corporate America and you're able, you know, to service yourself and your family and take care of your needs in the best way you know how. But you find that people start to envy you. Oh, how does she afford this? Or how does she afford that? And then they stop talking to you.
Yeah.
You call them and they'll either abruptly tell you, oh, I'm busy, I'll call you back, and they hang up. You meet them in the store or some, oh, I'm sorry, I just got a text message, I have to run and blah, 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 blah.
Even progress.
Exactly. Even going behind my back and telling my boyfriend, oh, Sylvia, you don't look at her with all these things that she has and stuff like that. She actually has another man who supports her. Lies after lies after lies. Can you imagine? Don't look at the way she's dressing. She's dressed in this and look at that hair. That hair is almost $1,000. How can she afford that when she has 4 children? And she's driving a Mercedes and there's a BMW too outside. And look at the way the house is furnished. By God, I am a child of God.
There you go.
And everything I ask my Father for, guess what? He gives to me.
Yeah, Jehovah Jireh.
He gives to me because I have learned to be obedient. I was a very obedient Christian, by the way. I was what I call a Sunday Christian. If I go to church, then I feel good. Okay, I've prayed to God and I'm good, and you know, God is good with me. But no, that's not how God wants us. You understand? And I realized that when I stopped being obedient to God, I was very disobedient and not following the book the way it was supposed to be, or not following God's word, even when He spoke to me in dreams, and when He spoke to me even in real life. I saw
you
that.
get me now?
Yes, we do. Just let Sylvia land. Yeah, then you take over the airways. Sister Sylvia, go ahead.
So I found that when I started becoming obedient to my Lord and my Savior, my life became a cinch. It wasn't as anymore. It wasn't as hard anymore, even though I didn't have much, but I still find peace and I still find enjoying my size because I cut my coat according to my size and I live within my means.
There you go. Thank you so much, Sister Sylvia. Okay, Mr. Songlefang Temleke is having technical difficulties, but he's on the audio. So, Niason, take it away because we have to hear that editorial.
Thank you so much, ladies. I appreciate your being there and for all your patience and your participation. I don't know what happened today, but all the same, the show must go on. Greetings and welcome to the program. December 15 is the 349th day of the year 2019. That is on the Gregorian calendar. There are just 16 days left before the year 2019 runs out. So what are we doing? Of course, we know we started already, but something historical about December 15, that is today. On this day in 1791, the new United States of America, with the Virginia General Assembly signing on and giving the required 2/3 majority, ratified the Bill of Rights, that is, the first 10 amendments to the Constitution of the United States that confirmed the fundamental rights of its citizens. The first of those 10 amendments guarantees what we are doing and what we do every day: freedom of religion, freedom of speech, and the freedom of the press, as well as the rights of peaceful assembly, as well as the right to petition the government for doing what they should not be doing, favoring us rather than favoring themselves. So on this same day in 1978, President Jimmy Carter announced that the United States will recognize the People's Republic of China and its several relations with Taiwan. With those pieces of history behind us then, let us move on. Let us now delve into the details of our reflection as we prepare to share views on what it means to cut one's coat according to one's cloth, or otherwise, as they also say, we also want to say, live according to your means. As I sometimes do a Google search by yourself, and more than 1,000 million results will pop up within seconds. And the first thing you see is an explanation which says to, quote, live within your means that what you spend each month is less than or at least equal to the amount of money you bring in each month. That explanation goes on. For many people, it's a lot easier said than done. Of course, we all know that. And credit cards, that is, they are quoting this one now, credit cards, loans, savings, and even emergency funds allow you to buy more than you really want to buy and more than you can ordinarily afford on a particular day. So credit expert Latoya Irby in a November 2019 write-up summarizes how do success, or the article is titled, How Do You Successfully Live Within Your Means? And she says, being financially responsible is important for your health and for your financial life. She points out a step-by-step roadmap that should guide all of us to live within our means. And through the ages, different people have provided similar guidelines in their own ways. American lawyer and a politician who served as the 30th president of the United States from 1923 to 1929, Calvin Coolidge, said at his time, there is no dignity quite so impressive and no independence quite so important as living within your means, end of quote. And before him, economist John Stuart Mill said, I quote, I have learned to seek my happiness by limiting my desires rather than in attempting to satisfy them. Yes, living within our means, cutting our coat according to our cloth, should mean limiting what we wish for and seeking to live by and with what we wish for rather than attempting to satisfy every single desire. Confucius, that is the Chinese man, put it better when he said, quote, he who will not economize will have to agonize. In doing that, and in doing what Africa Online does, we are in that business. So, in doing what it does both on its WhatsApp chat room and through its live broadcast, Africa Online Media Corporation strives to ensure that no one, no African son or daughter, in or out of the continent, agonizes because he or she made a wrong choice. We raise awareness, we inform, we educate, and we shine the light on issues just so that our people do not, as the Bible tells us, die for lack of information, or is it perish for lack of information. So let this discussion continue, because we need to cut our coat according to our cloth. We need to live within our means. So ladies, take the ball and let's play.
Sister Sylvia, you are the
Thank you so very much. Yes, indeed. Cutting our coat according to size is very healthy for individuals, because when you try to live within or without your means, rather within your means, you'll be okay, you'll be successful. But when you try to live above your means, you start running into problems. This is where now you start telling lies. You start being a crook. You start trying to get help from the people through judicious means by making up stories. My daughter this, she needs money for school, she needs money for that, or I need this for I can't pay my rent and things like that. So what you end up doing is you end up putting yourself into more debt and into more agony than when you started. Mm-hmm. If you're getting a $35,000 salary per year, and you own a home, let's say your home is $1,500 per month, that is very affordable for you to do. But because Reverend Pam has just bought a mansion, how dare she buy
Hallelujah!
And then I'm still living in my $1,500 home. You understand? How did she manage? Because I was better than her. I got a better job than her. She was only making $14 an hour, and I've been making $21 an hour for the past 4 years. Now, what you don't know is you don't know what Reverend Pam has done in the back. Reverend Pam could have struck a very big deal. She could have struck oil somewhere in Saudi. You understand? But she's not one to brag about, oh, I struck oil and this is what's going on. No, she keeps it to herself, but she becomes a blessing to others. Now, when she blesses others, the envy even becomes worse. How dare she give me $5,000 when she's got, I'll just throw out a number, $10 billion, $10 million. And what's the stupid $5 that she's giving me? She's very stingy. Look at her. And now, yes, now you start getting enemies because of your stuff that you have. They feel they're entitled to getting more than what you gave them. Now, what they don't understand is Reverend Pam, for sure, your title is a reverend. And as a reverend, you are what I call a multitude leader.
Yep.
And among your multitudes, there are many, 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 many people there that you want to bless, that you want to make sure, okay, I know Sister Sylvia told me her car died 2 months ago. Let me bless her with a $10,000 car. I didn't ask for the car, but because she knows my needs and she knows me as a sister, she'll bless me with a car. Now, who am I to start complaining and saying, why did she buy me a $10,000 car? She should have bought me a Bentley, and now she's buying me a foolish Camry. You understand? The envy comes in, the hate comes in. Now I start praying negative prayers towards her. Father God, take away everything that she said. Hey, can you believe that?
God will never answer that kind of prayer.
I'm serious. What they don't realize is God does not answer those prayers. When your sister is blessed and God blesses her or him, be happy, be joyful, and celebrate in their joy. You don't know how the thinking of the person is regarding being a beneficiary of what he or her has achieved. They go behind you, Reverend Pam, and they're going to be talking to you about you like a dog. Look how she's changed. Even her step has changed. If that was me, this would have happened. If that was me, this would have happened. You are not cutting your coat according to size. Do you know where Reverend Pam got that money? Do you know what Reverend Pam had to go through to get that money? Or the hoops and the fires that she had to quench before she got that money? Do you know how many dragons she had to slay to get to where she is today, to get that mansion, to get that Bentley, to get that aircraft that she's going to be flying in soon by herself?
Sister Sylvia, what you're saying is so true and it's so on point, but I tell people, you can't control what people say about you. You can only control how you react, whether you react or how you respond. And I think it was Morgan Freeman who said that people don't talk about losers. They talk about you because they wish they could be you. They know they cannot be you. But Romans 12:15 say, rejoice with them that do rejoice. So not many people will rejoice with you when you are blessed. This thing about living with our means is such a problem, both on the continent and in the diaspora.
For real.
I know of stories, and I'm not going to mention countries or names, where somebody's, you know how we always have events in our community, maybe baby shower or bridal shower or wakekeeping or whatever. Somebody comes to this person's house, they realize somebody's bought new furniture or new home. There's actually a situation where somebody's wife will not let them rest until they had a beautiful home, but just because somebody else bought a home that was bigger, that their home became small in the eyes of the wife. And that is not because there are people who are working 3 jobs just to keep up, you know. And in the USA, they say keeping up with the Joneses. We don't have Joneses in Africa, but I don't even know, I don't want to call any African name, but keeping up with the other Africans, you know. You don't have to. Look at Steve Jobs. He had what, $90 billion? He could not buy him a second. So instead of enjoying the little that you have, you are there abandoning your children, working 3 jobs. And for some of you women who are doing that, while you are doing that, you're not taking care of your husband. Somebody else is taking care of your husband with the money that you are working. So keep that in mind, you know. But like you rightly said, they see the glory, they see the glamour. They don't know the story behind it. They don't know what people are doing. You cannot tell. And not everybody makes money from their profession.
True.
There are people that have been anointed to make money outside their profession. That's consultation, or is, you know, a business or whatever. So don't compare, my dear. Don't compare. The fact that somebody's in your profession and they don't have the same kind of house that you have does not mean that you should go get the same.
Yes.
Or that they are doing something illegal. And that's the thing. Our people have problems rejoicing with people that have been blessed. We have problems living within our means. And let me tell you, I'm one of those people. I never used to look at the price of things years ago. But God had to take me through some storms for me to learn how to abound and how to abase. I have never lived beyond my means. Never. Because my dad never did. You understand what I'm saying? But I had a problem with extravagancy up until a few years ago. So now, not only do I make a list, I'm on a budget. I make my list. The other day in the store, this woman was telling me that, oh, maybe I should start doing that. Because we are impulsive shoppers. Years ago, when I like a shoe or a suit, I'll buy the same thing in 4 or 5 different colors. Because I only wear one suit at a time. I don't do that anymore. You know, now I look at the prices of everything. As a matter of fact, last week, Walmart cheated me. They rang one item twice. And if it was in the past, I would not have caught it, but I caught the mistake. You know, so my dear, and living within your means doesn't mean you are struggling. No, you have to learn how to manage your resources.
Yes.
Even a lot of us have clothes in our closet that are even better than what some people are going to the store now to buy. Shop from your closet. Shop from your closet. And you come out, you still look good. And another thing I want to tell people, it's cheap to be expensive and expensive to be cheap. You might go and buy something, some flimsy material because it's cheap. In 6 months or 1 year, it will be gone. And then somebody buys something durable and they use it for 10, 20 years. So that's still being frugal and also being, you know, living within your means, because you are not trying to go strain yourself to find money to buy something that you don't need or try to compete with somebody else. Just be within your means, please. Even with the food that you cook, you know, it depends on how you cook it. There's somebody might spend extra money buying, you know, filet mignon or ribeye steak or New York steak, and you go and buy your beef brisket or, you know, just another cheap part of this thing, and you prepare it. Yes, and it tastes better than the person that bought filet mignon. You don't have to eat the same thing that your friend is eating. When you go to your friend's house, the kind of pots. I have a set of pots here that I bought about 15 years ago. If I tell you how many people have bought that pot, some people even bought it, sent it abroad. They don't even make the pots anymore. You don't have to buy the same pots that I have. I don't mind, because to me, I say, well, Father, thank you that I'm a trendsetter. I'm not going to see something you like and want to get it. There are people that have this desire. Once they see something you have, Sylvia, just because you are the one who have it, that thing becomes so desirable. Even if it was not anything that was desirable, because you are in possession of it, you become desirable. So we need to hear from you. I don't know what's going on with your audio, but Sister Sylvia, I'm going to hand over to you. Let me text him. I don't know why he's having such a challenge today.
Yeah, I see him dropped off. Yes, and many marriages have gone a bust because of this same trying to live outside your means. You go and visit your friend, you find like you rightly said, your friend has this house that has been beautifully furnished from, I'll just pick a country, from China or whatever, from India. They got this elaborate, extravagant. You now go home and you starting wahala with your husband. Oh, my friend, so-and-so has got these chairs from Dubai. Oh, you should see the bed. That when you sleep on the bed, if you feel like you're floating. All those chairs, when you sit on those chairs, you feel like you're sinking. You can actually sleep on those chairs without even having to go to your bed. Oh, you should see the teacups she bought. Oh, those teacups are from China. They are hand-painted and this and that and the other. Wait. What is wrong with you? What's wrong with what you have? Are the chairs in your home not serving the same purpose where your friend's house? The roof over your head in that current house that you have you not been living in there for the past 30, 35 years?
Exactly.
Has the roof not protected the sun and the wind and the rain and the snow and everything else away from you and your family? The bed you've been sleeping on, has it not been giving you good and sweet slumber? The little blankets that you bought 50 years ago, are they still not warm? Are they still not keeping you comfortable and warm? You can't start envying somebody else's home, because we have a saying in our language, it says, meaning you can envy and admire me or my home from the outside, because you don't know what I go through to live the way I do and to be who I am today in my home. Exactly. I have a lot of encumbrances that I go through. I have a lot of issues that I go through with my husband, or even just by myself. You are spending sleepless nights plotting how to go to the Dibia to go and make sure that Sylvia loses all her stuff that's in her house. She's single. She can't have that. You understand? Now, you people, one thing I have to ask us Africans is this. We are so quick to go to the Dibia, or what we call the witch doctor, for those of you who don't know what a Dibia is.
I was about to ask you what is Dibia.
Yeah, it's a witch doctor where people will go and they will say, I want to become rich. If those people have the ability and capability of making you rich,
they will be rich themselves.
Why are they living in the bush and in that little shrine?
Exactly. And why are they collecting money from you? Why are they collecting money from you?
Why are they getting money from you if they have that power? You understand? We need to wake up as women. We need to wake up as women and realize and ask that medicine man or the Dibia or whatever nganga, whatever they are called in every country has their own name for them. Before you believe in his charm, or before you believe in what you might call a gift that he's going to give you to enable you surpass Sylvia, ask him and say, if you're able to make me these gazillion dollars, how come you're still so poor yourself?
Exactly.
For me to respect you, Sister Pam, if I come to your home without you even telling me you're a billionaire or a millionaire, just by looking at you and looking at your home, I can tell. You don't have to blow your trumpet to me to say, oh, I made these billions. No. And some of us don't change when we become billionaires. Some of us do. Everybody should know I have made it big. Everybody should know I have this. And my nails now are 10 feet long. I don't even know how to. My eyelashes will now be up to the nape of my hair, so everybody can see that now I have arrived. You understand? And now my boobs and everything else is outside, so people can see that I have augmented my boobs. My backside is augmented. Because I have the money. Now, when Reverend Pam sees me, she's like, Lord, I wonder where Sister Sylvia got all that money from to look to which.
Not this Reverend Pam. She has a lot on her plate. I know.
Living example.
I know.
So what I'm trying to say is we need to be realists. We need to be realistic about life and about things around us, material things. The esteemed doctor quoted and say, God's people perish due to lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
God's people perish due to lack of knowledge, and we do. How do we foolishly go to that medicine man and go and ask for the potion to make me rich when he himself is as poor as dead, and he's asking me to give him $1,000, and he's asking me to bring 2 goats, bring 10 chickens, bring 5 cola, bring this and that and the other. If he is able and capable to make you rich, why is he so dirt poor?
You know, it's amazing, Sister Sylvia. It takes guts for some, because I can't even watch those people on TV. The reason why I wasn't able to watch Nigerian movies, because a lot of them had. I'm glad they don't have them. Those which I cannot even watch them on television. But I think Nia Song is back. Nia Song.
Yes. Good morning again. Good afternoon again. And I don't know what went wrong today, because I come in, I see you, but I don't get the sound. And when I get the sound, I don't get the pictures and so on. So, well, I hope that I'm just trying to live within my means. I hope I'm just trying to cut my code according to my size. I know it is not the case in this particular case today because we have not had this before. All the same, I've got everything said. The part that I was going to ask Sylvia was the part about boobs. Do you think that is something people should actually be doing? I know we're not discussing that, but should we try to not just live with God gave us, or should we go to those doctors and say, please, I need some what do you call it? I need some inflation in my chest.
Implants.
Do we need those things?
You know what, doctor?
Living beyond your means.
Yes, I've been making this joke with my sister, right? And I said, when God comes, he won't be able to identify any of us because the way we look today is not the way God created us.
Yeah.
He gives us eyebrows, we shave them and we paint them.
Yeah.
He gives us hair, we shave the hair off and we put what I have right now in my head. Eh? Yeah. He gives you a nice nose. You want to look like the white man's nose.
Yeah.
He gives you nice lips. They want to make them thicker.
Yeah.
Eh? Now he gives you small size boob, 32, 38 or whatever, B size, B cup. But you see Mama Sylvia, who's a double D or triple D or quadruple D, you want to look like Mama Sylvia.
Oh,
you know, there is really no need for us to do that. But I believe, again, this could be like a double-edged sword, actually, the answer I'm about to give you. There are some of us who are not content with the way we look, all right? And then there's some of us who are overly content with the way we look, and we just want to go on and on and on. Now, health-wise, I would not, and I'll say this again, I would not urge anybody to get implants because I've heard so many horror stories, or the butt plants as well. I have seen so many horrific pictures, which people, the butt thing deflates and the silicone, I think that's the liquid that is inside those things.
Silicone implant, yes.
Yes, they burst, and then you see the backside starting to get rotten. They starting to get infections. Some of them can't walk, can't sleep, can't eat because the whole thing now becomes toxic. It's in the body. The boobs as well, because most of the time these boobs, when we're with our boyfriends, husbands, and men, they may like to touch them, man. They like to play with them. Now, sometimes they may squeeze them a little bit too hard, and before you know it, pop, this thing pops. It was not intentional, but now guess what? It's seeping into your bloodstream. It's seeping into your muscle tissue. And before you know it now, you are sick. After sick, you are dead. Is it really worth it? Is it really worth it? We have to learn to be content with what we've had. Okay, accentuating oneself a little bit, like I told you, them eyebrows and that lipstick and that hair. It's not too much of a change, to be quite honest. But when it comes now to the boobs, I have to be now a 49 whatever quadruple D. And then my backside also has to be 72 inches because I want every man to see me and suck in my weight. Oh my God. That's not necessary. That is not necessary for us. God will not identify us the time he comes. I'm telling you. He's going to be asking us, who are you? Because I did not create you.
So it is very important that we accept what God gave us. We live with what we have rather than trying to search for things that are not within our means. So I think everybody out there should be able to judge themselves and say, oh, I think I've been overdoing it here. Let me go back to the basics and do it the way I was created. Live the way I was created. No, that is good to have a little more skin, but then let it come naturally rather than you adding it and causing more havoc to yourself than ever before.
Yes. You know, when I look at myself today, right? When I was younger, I was an athlete. I was Zambia's champion for over 10 years, and my record was never defeated. Now, I looked like a boy. At that time, I had no boobs, I had no backs, and literally I looked like a table back and front.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. I was like,
hard to believe.
I had nothing, I'm telling you. Nothing. And every time I'd look at my face, because my sister, not my face, sorry. Every time I'd look at my sister, she was more of a female, you know, the feminine structure. You know, she's got a small waist, she's got the curvature, so to speak, even though she was only 18 months older than me. And I would sit there and I would ask myself, why did God make me like a boy and my sister looks like a woman? You understand?
God make you that way.
So I started stealing her bras, and I couldn't wear a bra because there was no boobs for me to wear a bra. So I would steal her bras and fold socks, and I'll put the socks inside my boobs and make myself look like I got boobs.
Oh my God.
Now, one day when I went to run track, I forgot to tighten the bra. You know how the bra has 3 little eyelets? I put it on the most loose one. Oh, Lord have mercy. It did right at the starting line. Fortunately, it didn't fall while I was on there, but it fell at the starting line. And guess what? I ignored it like it wasn't mine. I kept going. I took off. And fortunately, I won the race. And that's what crowned me as the Zambian champion with 14.2 seconds in the 100-meter hurdles for Zambia.
Wow.
So I learned that lesson. I learned that lesson to say, I cannot augment myself except God does it for me.
Amen.
Now, lo and behold, 30, 40 years later, hey, now I got excess in front. That side is just following you graciously with no
Now you wish it to be a table.
With no shame whatsoever. The backside also is following, religiously following the front. You understand? So I have to be grateful to God because when I was younger and looking like a boy, I detested myself. But the one thing is, we had a father who was so loving, and every day he never forgot to tell you how beautiful you were and how much he loved you.
Amen.
He would tell you you're the most beautiful, whatever. He had pet names for all of us. So each one of us as girls in my mother's house or in my father's house grew up with over self-confidence.
Amen. Yep.
That no matter what you look like, or no matter, we grew up with a family of plenty, so to speak.
Yeah.
But he also taught us how to be humble and how to be modest and how to live within your means. He said, when you leave my house, you may get married to a man who cannot afford to give you this big house, this big car, these beautiful clothes. So you girls have to start now adjusting as you grow up. You understand? As you grow up, the men that will come for you, if you're lucky, they may be rich. If you're unlucky, they may be poor. But there's nothing wrong with a poor man. You find that the poor man loves you for you, and the rich man is abusing you because he knows.
So long as he's not lazy. So long as the poor man is not lazy.
Yes, he's providing for you. So for me, as a person and as a woman, I've taught my 4 daughters the same thing. Live within your means and do not stress your husbands for things that they cannot provide for you. Okay, you as a woman, you should be able to assist with whatever is required so that the house is comfortable and you're not making your husband, go the extra mile because you want to live like the Joneses, like you rightly said.
Okay, we have a couple of people on the line, Daughter of Zion, Comfort, and Dr. Ogoji, welcome. I can't wait to hear what Dr. Ogoji has to say about this topic. So, okay, we have Comfort and Dr. Ogoji on the line.
Okay, welcome online, Comfort and Dr. Ogoji. But Dr. Ogoji, the priority always goes to the ladies. So, Comfort, please, what's your take on living within your means, cutting your cloth cutting your coat according to your cloth? Take it from here.
Yes, good evening, and thank you for welcoming me. This is a very pertinent topic by me. For me, there is no need for exaggeration, no need to a show of something you don't have. Because when you start doing that, at the end, you still remain void. When you get back into your home, let's say you put on all kinds of things. When you take off all those things, you remain who you are. And then that's where the depression comes. For me, I take it very seriously because I like to be who I am. Take me for who I am, or you leave it at that point, because I will be satisfied. So my point is, remain who you are and let people love you for who you are, because God created you for a reason. And there is somebody looking at you. You might be the only Bible that somebody will read. So don't fake it, so that others who are your left and your right hand fake it also. So be real and let others look and emulate you and be who you are. I'll come back later. Thank you, Dr. Nia.
Yes, thank you so very much for that. Dr. Ogoji, yes, Reverend Pam already said that you have a ton on this topic. So, living within your means, cutting your coat according to your cloth, take it from here.
Well, my take on this is that it's a very important topic, and we can see the effect of living above your means create among our brothers and sisters in Africa. Majority of us here who live abroad, we want to go to Nigeria, Africa. We go down there, we buy a car, we create a false impression that when you come over to America or London or Germany or France, there's dollar on the tree coming down. To create that impression without explaining to people that, look, when I go back home, the expenses I've made this trip will take me 3 years to recover.
Yeah.
I'm have to pay my bills when I get home. So I'm just coming here to celebrate with you guys for these few weeks. I'm going home. I have a lot of them waiting for me. They won't do that. They will say, "Oh, I'm big, I'm big, I'm big." Even more common among Nigerians, you know, in Nigeria, for instance, most people living in Lagos, Abuja, during Christmas time in particular, would liquidate their assets, their business money, just to buy a car and show up in the village.
Wow.
Come January, they want to sell the car to go start business. Of course, we all know that if you buy a car for $5, when they go sell for $3. So that creates a false impression and mislead the people around you, which is terrible. So it's bad for you, but creating a false impression that will mislead the whole society, thinking that this is what it is, why it's not what it is a problem.
Yeah.
So my father used to say, cut your coat according to your pocket. You say according to your clothes. But my father said, according to your pocket. If your pocket is big, you cut a big clothes.
I like that one.
If it's too small, they cut it in your pocket, not your size. So that's why when I look around, ask people, you know, are you doing something to please people or to please who you are? I am who I am.
Exactly.
You know, I cannot do things because other people are doing it, and don't emulate me. Let me not emulate you. Do things according to your means, and so that you can live a long life and be happy.
Awesome.
All right. Ms. Stella, I know you are moderating with me. I know we're all moderating this show. Now, tell me, you've said a lot, which maybe Dr. Ogoji and Daughter of Zion Comfort, they did not hear. But I don't want us to go back on that. But then there is still this urge among us Africans in particular to, as Dr. Ogoji just said, overdo it. Why do we go back to the continent and give wrong impressions? For Cameroonians, they call them bush fallers. I don't know how they call them in Zambia, but they call them in Cameroon bush fallers. Do they really fall bush?
You know, this is so sad that I'm glad that Doctor had brought it up, because I was going to come back with that, exactly what he said. And, you know, I have also visited Nigeria quite a bit, and I'm very familiar with their ways and quite a bit of their customs. And I've also visited quite a lot of other African countries. I have noticed for sure, I just want to qualify what the doctor said to say, for sure, all of us, not all of us, some of us, when we go to Africa, we want to give this false pretense that all is well. But the life we lead here, you and I all know that we live a life of bills, B-I-L-L-S. Reverend Pam had alluded earlier on to say some of us here have to work 3 to 4, 5 jobs just to make ends meet, or because you want to live like the Joneses. Now, you go to Africa, like Doctor says, you buy the car. Who are you showing off to? Whose benefit you show off? You are lying to yourself. You understand? And you can impress all the other people that you want to impress in that village or the city or the town and stuff like that. But when you come back to the United States or to whatever residential country you live in, guess what? You go to bed crying.
Yeah.
How am I going to pay for my mortgage? How am I going to pay for that car note? How am I going to pay the babysitter? How am I going to feed my family tomorrow? Is it really worth it? Trying to impress others does not bring you any glory. All it is strive for you and your family to come back to reality, to the United States. Now, with even these movies, the Nigerian movies that we watch, by the way, I love me some Nigerian movies. That's my pastime. That's my therapy. I love them movies. I'm telling you, when I'm stressed, the first thing I look for is that Nigerian movie. I'll sit there and I immerse myself in that movie. You understand? So I feel part of what I'm watching. The reason I do that is because I try to relate with our people. Why do our people think this way, or why do our people do things this way? Now, when I do see the Nigerian and Ghanaian movies, I've also watched a few South African and Zambian, but it's more exaggerated on the western part of our continent, where everybody assumes that when you go to Obodoyibo, you have to come back with a car. You come back from Obodoyibo, you have to come back with a big bag of money. When you come back from Obodoyibo, you should have built a big house in the village. That is not true. It's not everybody who's equally given that privilege to be able to make those gazillions of dollars that you can do that. But with proper planning and budgeting, for sure, it's very achievable. Everybody can afford to build a house back home. Because the GDP for most of these African countries is quantified by what the diaspora sends them. Now, you come back to the United States, you're Mr. Big Shot in Zambia, Lagos, or wherever, whatever, showing off with your big car, showing off with your big boots and your big hat and your big jewelry and all the gold are now around the neck that you can accommodate. But now come back home. Your kids don't even have a meal. They're eating one meal a day. You have to wake the children up at midnight to feed them so that in the morning they go to school with something in their belly because there's no... Seriously? Seriously? As parents, we have to be a little bit more reliable and a little bit more capable of taking care of our children and our families. And especially those of us who are earning money as in dollars, US dollars, or whatever the euros and whatever other money that is in the diaspora that is not African currency. We have to learn to live according to our means and stop lying to yourselves that it's gonna get any different because Mr. Jones has more money than you. If you work hard, yes, you can make a difference. But don't go and steal. Do not start doing all these showy things because you want to live like the Joneses. That's not going to be fair for the wife or for the children, or even if it's the wife doing it, vice versa for the husband. Let's live according to our means and stop going home to show off, because guess what? One thing I've realized is those people in Africa can dress. So they dress better than us.
Of course.
They are better equipped than us. They've got nice houses. They've got nice cars, even better bodies than us because they eat the real food back home. That is not GMO modified. So stop trying to go and impress anybody because you're not impressing anybody. You just like stop it and start living according to your size. And you see that your life will be a little bit better.
Amen.
Yeah, I want to ask about diaspora.
Dr. Goji, go ahead. Dr. Goji, tie in the knots.
Yeah, I want to ask about diaspora lifestyle too, you know. This is more common among Nigerians, you know. We live in a city. Everybody go up to the high-end part of the city and buy $500,000 home, $1 million home. So the white man will tell you that if you want to buy a house, the cost of house should be at least less than 25% of your gross income. The cost of the house, I mean the mortgage should be 25% of your monthly income, or you must pay your gross income by 4. You shouldn't go above that. Yeah. So you see a typical Nigerian family or other kind of families, 2 hardworking people, when they buy a house, that 2 of them have to work 60 hours to pay the mortgage.
Yes.
So as one is leaving, one is coming back, and vice versa. They have a house, they have no home. Absolutely no home.
You got it. Touchdown. They don't have a home, they don't have a family because the internet is raising and social media is raising their children.
There you go.
And they don't have a marriage either because they are not even sleeping in the bed at the same time. That is no life. That's living beyond your means. Like you say, who are you trying to impress? I have to jump in here because, you know, this even not just going home, there are people that come here, they take a picture and send to their classmates or former people back home to impress who? The people back home, they sleep at night. They're not worrying about, and when they have a house, they own it. Most of them don't have mortgages. A car, they own the car. There's no car load. They are not worried about repossession or foreclosure. But you are here, you have to work extra. And then those who put credit, they keep taking credit cards to charge things, try to impress. When something is coming, or those who was janky, or this other person, I saw this at the houses where they cook this time, let me kill a goat, let me kill a cow, let me do this, trying to outdo. Who are you running a race? Who are you running a race with? I mean, to me, it's bondage. And it goes back to low self-esteem and lack of self-confidence. Because, look, I just gave, my niece is getting married next week. I gave my fabric to somebody to make. She was trying to tell me what's in vogue. I said, no, I'm a trendsetter. I don't follow whatever is in vogue. I set my own vogue. And I told her that. So I said, yes. I said, because I don't want to be trying to figure out what is in fashion. Let me just do my own stuff. Let people follow my fashion, not me follow. I'm a leader, I'm not a follower. But going back to within your means, what is it? And you know, you could have all that money, you don't even have good taste. So you can have the money, like we know somebody, I'm not going to call his name, all you guys know who he is. Money cannot buy class, and money cannot buy respect. You know, money cannot buy elegance, you know. So you can have all that money, but you go and buy a furniture that it might be expensive, but it doesn't even look close to what somebody who spent 1/10 of what you spend did on their furniture.
That is true.
Even their outfits. There are people that will shop at Ross, you know, they'll come out looking better than somebody that, you know, a shop at Neiman Marcus, you know, because of the way they put things together. So again, the idea is just my dear, cut your cloth according to your pocket, like Dr. Ogoji said. I like that one. Cut your coat according to your cloth. If you don't have enough cloth, please don't go and get in debt. Don't go and charge things on credit card, because let me tell you,
Yes.
you are charging nothing on the credit card. Thank God I don't own a credit card and I don't want to. Years ago I used to own one, not anymore. Because by the time you finish paying that credit card, you'd have paid 3 times the amount of what it costs. So that bill is not going anywhere. You might not be feeling the pain at the time because you are charging it, money is not coming out of your account, but you're going to be in debt. In debt. And back to that thing Dr. Gojo said about homes, 500,000. I have no problem against anybody living in $1 million home if they can afford it. I have no problem. I grew up in a big house. I live in a big. I like space. I don't like to be choked in. But again, don't do it because somebody did it. But I want to just stress the meaning of mortgage. The first 4 letters of that word "mort" is the same. It's death. It's death.
It is.
Yeah, that's French for
More.
death.
That's a French word, right?
Mort.
It's a French word. Mort means death.
Yeah.
But the people don't realize that
Death of age. Death of age.
Yes, when you are going into that mortgage, you are signing your debt warrant. You don't know that. That's why they call it a mortgage. In this country, by the time you finish, I don't know how many people have ever finished paying off their mortgage, but most of it is 30 years. By the time you finish, that's if you ever finish, you know, I know somebody who finished paying their mortgage 10 years ago, they're still paying money every month for taxes or whatever, and homeowners or whatever. So, you know, in Africa, you own your home, you own your home. You build your home from scratch, you own it, you own it. You own the land and you own the home. Here, it's not that way, my brothers and sisters. So before we
have just the building.
Yeah, before you go and get into this debt or death sentence, please make sure you're not trying to impress anybody. I'm not talking about people who are afraid to live in Rwanda neighborhood or, you know, neighborhood that are not. There's some neighborhoods that I will not even go visit. Not being discriminatory, but if I don't feel safe or secure, I will not go there. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about going to a particular neighborhood because it gives you a status that, oh, you live in this neighborhood. Meanwhile, you cannot even buy your medication. You cannot even cook food in your house. It looks like we're talking. So, Sister Sylvia, over to you. We lost me as well.
All right. So for sure, everything that you have said is very true. People are not even able to buy their medications or even take their children to the hospital. They'll try to find a friend who has a friend who's a doctor who can give them pro bono, services. But they're forgetting that they messed up themselves by not having that money for their children because they want to live like the Joneses. Now, for sure, with regards to living lifestyles, our lifestyles of living, we're very different. We may come from the same country, same geographic region and things like that, but our tastes change according to our climatic adaptation and according to the geographical areas that we move to. Now, just because Mr. Patel next door has two big cars and he has a boat and he has this and they eat 5 meals a day, does not mean I should kill myself too to become like Mr. and Mrs. Patel. Because Mr. and Mrs. Patel have their own means. Some of them, remember, some of our brothers and sisters on the other side always believe in inheritances.
Yeah.
Most of us Africans do not believe in inheritances. We want to chew or eat or whatever you do, and then you leave your children fighting over your stuff. We don't know how to give wills. We don't know how to write our last rites so that the wealth that we leave behind is equally taken care of and equally distributed. So you will find that when this wealth now comes your way as a daughter of a billionaire so-and-so, right? You want to change everything about you. You don't even know what you look like yourself. You don't even know who you are anymore. You change the way you walk. You change the way you talk. You change everything about you. That's making the people that are around you uncomfortable because now they become envious.
Mm-hmm.
How did she get to where she is? I want to be just like her. This is now when, like I said, I'll bring it back to the witch doctors. They're going to the witch doctors to try and eliminate you now. Little do they realize that even if they eliminate you, the wealth is not going to go to them. But I guess they get the satisfaction of trying to poison you out of their way because you're being too flamboyant, you're being too glamorous, and you're being too this and too that. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, be real. This life is short. God gave each and every one of us our own gifts, our own talents, and our blessings. And each one of us, I believe none of us are homeless, thank God, and pray nobody ever gets homeless.
You know, it will never happen.
In Jesus' name. You get homeless, lodge with a relative. Call a friend. But unfortunately, sometimes when you lose it all, nobody wants to help you. And the first thing they say is, when she had it all, she didn't do this for me. When she had it all, she didn't do that for me. But here's my 2 cents to my brothers and sisters out there. We have to learn to take care of each other and learn to correct one another when we see us going astray. If you see me getting a quadruple, double D, a boob stuff, and I talk to you about it, don't encourage me to do it. Try to discourage me. You understand? Because as much as I want to look like Dolly Parton and have the waist of a wasp and have the backside of Kim Kardashian, that's not good for my health. You understand? That's not good. That's not good for my health because you're going to lose a sister. You're encouraging me to look like the triple body people, but yet you are the very same people who are going to be laughing at me and say, look how foolish she is. If we have love for one another, we need to correct each other with love, like I always say, with love. Yeah. Don't admonish anybody. Give good, respectable advice. And even if somebody comes at you, like I said, so many people have lied about me that I've done this and that. This is why I have a lavish lifestyle. Not sure where that lavish lifestyle is, but okay, that's what you think, so be it. Mm-hmm. We have to learn to love one another for who we are. We need to support one another where you can, give the support. But stop all this also people making other people uncomfortable because you have, quote unquote, you have it all. It's not fair and it's not right. Keep your mouth to yourself, keep that wealth that you have to yourself, and leave those that are not as wealthy as you to live within their means. Stop throwing yourself at them and showing them this and showing them that because you think you've arrived. By God, when God comes, you better have your answers for him.
Exactly.
We are getting to the top of the hour. It's 4:55, and Reverend, can you take over?
So I think maybe we still have 5 minutes. Maybe Dr. Ogoji or
is he on? He's on. Dr. Niason is on.
I was just going to say let's get to Comfort and then Dr. Ogoji before we get to the top of the hour with Reverend Pam.
Okay.
Dr. Ogoji or Comfort? Is Comfort, because Comfort shared just a very little. She said she was going to get back.
I think she's at work. She might be at work.
Okay.
I think she got out. Okay. Online.
Okay, Dr. Ogoji.
Okay.
We have heard so much about, just before you take over, we have heard so much about women, especially about getting their bodies living beyond their sizes and so on. But I've not heard much about the men. What will you tell those men who, when they were in primary, secondary school, or even college, they were as slim as brooms, but today you see them, they are as huge as elephants, the stomachs almost bursting through their chest. What do we tell them? How should they live within their means to stay within shape or to stay in shape?
Well, this is a very interesting question, okay? I would say 20 years ago, the big tummy and the big fold on the back of the neck was evidence of good living.
I know, of wealth. What a shame.
It was evidence of good living, 20 years ago. And some of us who were so petite when we were growing up were striving to get to that size.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Father.
That's a shame.
Yeah. And if you're petite, then they'll call you bonga fish, dried bonga fish. Look at his dried neck.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
So that creates impression that, look, you are hungry. Even though you're slim, that means you're hungry.
Yes.
But gone are those days. I will tell my brother and sister that, no, this bigger is not always the better.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the more you eat, because you have the money to eat all the food, or you go out to the beer parlor and drink as much beer as you want because you You want to impress people, you can buy beer or you go and to a restaurant and say, okay, this restaurant is closed today. Only for me and my friend. Madam, don't say to another person. This happens in Nigeria. I come here, how many head goat do you have? 20 is for me. They do that just to create impression so that anybody wants to come, oh, this guy has paid for all the goat head here today. Go away. It happened to me once in Nigeria. I went to buy a goat head. They say, oh, this guy has paid for all the goat head here. I said, but I want one. He has paid for you goat. This restaurant is closed for him.
Wonderful.
So those things are not good. You know, if you buy the whole goat head and somebody wants some goat head, give him a free one. The man will say, okay, you want one, I take one. You can pay for me, I'll take it. Don't eat everything yourself, because the more you eat, because you have the money and get bigger, you're going to die early, period.
That's right. You eat yourself. Yes.
You got it.
So you need to not try to grow big and try to impress people. You need to actually live within your means. And even if you have the wealth should go down. This society is planned, the way God planned is that the wealthy take care of the vulnerable. The rich take care of the poor. That means no amount of money you have. If you have too much money, there are people in need that can make use of that money rather than eat everything to grow as big as you want.
Yes, that's true. Very true.
Okay, at this point, I think we go over to Houston with Reverend Pam, and she will say a few things and then get to the top of the hour and enlighten us on what is ahead of us.
I thank you, Nias, Dr. Goji, Sister Sylvia, Sister Comfort, Dr. Zion. I'm telling you, the one thing is, since we don't have IT help, but we are impacting lives, we're just not able to collect the data because we don't have the volunteer, the manpower to collect it. But I just want to appreciate everyone for being honest, with themselves, even sharing our own personal testimonies, just for the record, Nia Song and Dr. Ogoji, the women are not the only one that augment parts of their bodies, but we're not going to touch the men. Let's just,
okay.
just for the record, this is so important, and it's coming at a time when, I always say from November to New Year's, a lot of people go into depression. A lot of marriages have issues because of this same thing we're talking about, this covetousness. People wanting to live beyond their means. Parents, you don't have to buy your child the latest iPhone 11, because their classmates have the iPhone 11, or the latest Xbox, or the latest whatever. You don't have to. They tell your child. I know of parents that cannot even afford the phones that they bought for their children, and the children are not working. Are you kidding me? You don't let your children put you in debt. Don't let your spouse put you in debt, make you live beyond your means, please. There are marriages that are falling apart, families that have been destroyed because of this very same topic. People not wanting to live within their means. It's okay to say you don't have it or you can't afford something. It's okay. And if you used to have it and then you lost it, it's still okay. Don't give people the impression that you still have it when you don't. But that doesn't mean that you will not have it again. Sometimes the Lord allows us to go through a dry season to get rid of some people in our lives and bring other people in life, or to teach us certain lessons. You understand what I'm saying? But it's not that we did something wrong. Okay, we are at the top of the hour. The topic that we just talked about, I think this next topic will just flow in, and we are welcome, all of you on this show. If you want us to discuss any topic, just inbox me and we'll get it on the air. But this is Christmas season. Africa Online is not a religious organization, neither is it a political organization. However, Christmas is something that's been celebrated by a lot of people around the world. However, we don't want to alienate the non-Christians, so we're going to be talking about end-of-year festivities. There are different celebrations that different people do. Christmas is a major one. So we want to hear how they celebrate Christmas in Zambia. We want to hear how they celebrate end of year in Zambia, in Nigeria, in Cameroon, in Congo, in Gabon, in Togo. We want to hear how they celebrate those holidays. So please, let's talk about this topic, and then next week we're going to be talking about, it's our health topic. We're going to be talking about erectile dysfunction. Dr. Goji, I'm glad you are still in the country. I hope you'll still be around, because I know you always vacation. So we're going to be talking about Christmas and end of year festivities in the different parts of the continent and in the diaspora. Niasong, is that okay?
Yes. So on the 22nd of December, we'll meet, that is next Sunday, because 15 plus 7 is 22. So on the 22nd, we'll be discussing this is end of year festivities around the world, around the continent. And on the 29th, which will be the last Sunday before the year runs out, will be a health topic, erectile dysfunction. So please let us put that on the calendar.
I'll be in Nigeria.
On the
29th.
29th,
No.
Yes, I'll be in Nigeria. I'm leaving 26 to come back January 31st.
Day after Christmas. Okay, but Sister Sylvia, that's her area of expertise. So Dr. Ogoji will not be here, but we'll need a medical doctor to handle the medical aspects of erectile dysfunction. So
he will leave his thoughts in writing, I hope, on WhatsApp, so that we can use them while he's gone.
Yes, Dr. Ogoji, your WhatsApp will be working.
That's right.
Yes.
So please. Okay, Reverend Pan, are you done with the announcements?
Yes, I am. Well, I would just say we still need IT help. I'd rather just not be streaming this and being the one monitoring who is here and who is not, but I don't mind, Back to you, Niaso.
Sister Sylvia, before I turn the ball over to you, let me just say this because it happened during the week. We all know that Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed became one of the latest Africans to receive the Nobel Peace Prize. I think it's the 12th since the prize was inaugurated. So Ethiopia's Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed spoke movingly about his experiences during the Ethiopia-Eritrea War as he accepted this year's Nobel Peace Prize in the Norwegian capital of Oslo. He was awarded the prize mainly for his efforts in ending the tension between the neighboring countries, that is Ethiopia and Eritrea. Mr. Abiy told the audience of dignitaries that he was a soldier in the country's 1998-2000 border war. He said his entire unit was wiped out in an artillery attack on the town of Badme, the flashpoint of the war. He said, "War is the epitome of hell for all involved." Those are his words. War is the epitome of hell for all involved. This inspired him, he said, to argue that, quote, the imaginary war needed to be torn down and replaced by a breach of friendship. He also praised his Eritrean counterpart, President Isaias Afwerki of Eritrea, for being a partner in the process. Peace, Mr. Abiy Ahmed said, is a labor of love. Sustaining peace is hard work. It takes a few to make war, but it takes a village and a nation to build peace. There is no use, and there is no use, he said, and we all need to work together for there to be peace because we need to face a destiny of love, forgiveness, and reconciliation. I insist on bringing this because I know that war continues to be the unfortunate thing on the continent of Africa, and many people seem not to see the need for us to work as a village, for us to work as a nation to bring peace, to make peace prevail. I will hurry to this other one. We know that Miss South Africa became Miss Universe last week. She said, I grew up in a world where a woman who looks like me with my kind of skin and my kind of hair was never considered to be beautiful. I think that it is time that that stops today. That's the message from newly crowned Miss Universe, Zozibini Tunzi. She's from South Africa, and she's very proud about what she did by winning that prize ahead of 90 other candidates. Tonight, she said, that was the night she accepted the crown, was opened, and I could not be more grateful to have been the one to have walked through it. May every little girl who witnessed this moment forever believe in the power of her dreams, and may they see their faces reflected in mine. I am hashtag Miss Universe 2019. So ladies, I know that I said that we're praising the women more than the men, but all the same, we need them because they are more exemplary to our growing up together, to our building peace than the men are. The men are the ones that start the wars. The women are the ones that seek peace. They go out as circumvent for Cameroonians, and they try to encourage us men to desist from going to war. So, but we have to live according to our means. We have to cut our coat according to our cloth. Should we go for war? No. So let us continue the conversation. How do we avoid war? How do we live within our means so that everybody benefits, so that our countries grow from strength to strength? Wait a minute. The Reverend Pam, Dr. Ogoji, and Miss Sylvia, please, the court is open.
Let me just mention something. Thank you so much for bringing up that Miss Universe. If I'm not mistaken, I think the Miss USA, Miss America, Miss
All of them are black. Yes, all of them are black.
In USA are all blacks.
Yes, yes, they are.
Black is beautiful.
That is beautiful. Profound.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the first time that all 4 of them have been black.
Africa's time. 2020 is a year for Africa. Just watch how this little silent revolution is going to start unfolding, because when God speaks and when prophecies are made, some of us don't believe him, but watch 2020.
It's our time and our turn.
Yes.
Sister Sylvia, pull some strings. We would like to get in touch with any one of the 4 of them.
Yeah, actually, I am in the process of doing that for something else. So let's see what can happen. Right now, it's not going to happen until after the holidays, by the way, because normally when they start their reigns in such circumstances, their calendars are very full. There's too many photo ops, too many people calling, and right now, nobody's going to accommodate us. But let's wait until maybe sometime in January, 15th January and above, we may be able to do something.
Because when I saw that, I was thinking, I said, it would be good to have one of them at next year's event, so. You and Davis are handling that anyway. All right, over to you and Brother Ogoji. So sorry. So when you're going home this December, you're not going to even make a grand entrance, right? You will just go quietly, because now that there are people waiting with their hands open, waiting.
You're trouble.
No, they know I'm always coming around, so
okay.
And I'm not afraid to go in.
Yes.
I'm certainly not living above my means.
Yes, you are not.
So I got to do what I got to do to make people around me happy.
Yes.
One of my biggest joy is my best gift is candy.
Really?
I take home 15 pounds of candy at least every year.
Really?
Yes, and I have enough candy to go around to all the kids in the village till I come back.
Yeah, please don't give it to the adults, the kids, because the kids will burn the calories.
I didn't hear that.
The kids. When they see my car, they rush this long line. So that keeps me happy. So I don't really care how the adults feel. The kids are happy, I'm fine.
Oh my God.
I think Dr. Goji, I'm going to copy that. Don't care about the adults, just the kids. I love that.
I care about them, but you cannot satisfy the adults.
You cannot.
But the kids are always happy to see me.
You see?
Anytime there's a party, a garden, they see me there, the whole attention, the kids come around me.
Yeah.
Sweet. Sure enough, I have enough. I open my car, I give it out.
Good.
And
that's
the key.
15 pounds of candy.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes.
All right.
So anyway, regarding our celebrations of Christmas in the continent, as you know, I come from the SADC area, namely Zambia. And unfortunately for us, we are like a blended culture because of all the 9 neighbors that we have around us. But the most typical one that I remember when I was much, much younger, as you all know, I've been in this country for over 30, 35 years now. So I'm sure a lot of things have changed because I haven't been home for Christmas for quite a while. But I do go home for, at other times, but not during the Christmas season. But I do remember when I was younger, how I used to look forward to going to my grandparents' house at the farm. Because they used to have a very, very big farm. And then those little children in the villages that would come, they would look forward to drinking tea with sugar and milk. And as well as bread with a lot of butter and the red jam. No other color, but the red jam, the jelly.
Yeah.
So you'll find that all of them, because my grandfather was a reverend, I'm sorry. He was the third Baptist minister to start the Christianity in Zambia through the Baptist mission, and his church still stands today. Wow. So being the leader of the Christian nation, Zambia, this is why, if you notice, Zambia is a predominantly Christian nation. We have very few percentage of all the other religions, even though we do acknowledge them. We don't shun them, but we acknowledge them. But Zambia is 100% Christian nation. So I remember every time that church, the church was built according to God's specific rules. No doors, no windows. And you cannot cover doors, and you cannot, till today it stands like that. So it was amazing how it would rain so much on Christmas, but the rain never entered the church. And everybody would like move away from the windows, afraid that, maybe their shirt or something would get wet, but the rain never came into the church. But then right after service, that whole church would be turned into like a little dining room. So these are stuck benches that are built, the concrete benches that are built into the church. Yes, they're built into, so you cannot move them. So my grandmother and my aunts and my family, because we were the presiding pastors of that, it's called Fiwala Hill Mission. It's actually a mission where missionaries from all over the world used to come to train to become Baptist ministers. It's still there, not quite as active, but it's still there. So all these people would come there from the villages from far and wide. I'm telling you, they would walk, they would travel, they would charter buses or whatever, and everybody would come there. And once they made that tea with milk, with a lot of milk and sugar, and the big pieces of bread with jam and butter, that was the best Christmas for most of the local children that were around. Now, the best part also that I used to like is my mother was a very generous person. She used to collect secondhand clothes from all the family members. And then during Christmas, whatever child she saw was not properly dressed, she would just dash them something. And they always looked forward to seeing my mother. It doesn't matter who attended Christmas, but if mommy wasn't around, Christmas wasn't good for those children because it always asked for.
So Sister Sylvia, you have a lot to tell us next Sunday then about celebration in Zambia,
Well, we can, yes, we can.
Because that's going to be our topic next week, and I can't wait to hear that. I can't wait to hear it.
Not a problem.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So, Dr. Ogoji, are you still there?
Yes.
I am here.
Yes.
I don't think the plane has landed on this topic of living within our means or cutting our coat according to our cloth. So, what will you tell when you go to Nigeria now that you are going? You will meet a lot of people. What will you tell those people on the street, at the street corner, whom you meet, who are trying to emulate, or rather not emulate, but imitate that other guy who came from maybe the United States or from Canada or whatever, thinking that they can measure up to that person? Should we live by imitation, or should we just be ourselves and live our lives?
Well, I have always had the same message to everybody when I go home, right from the time I was in Europe. Traveling abroad is not a bad idea, but if we are in Africa, you make enough money to own a house, take care of the basic needs of your children, and send them to school. You don't have to come over here to start afresh. You don't have to. Number two, I like pointing out, this is very obvious, but people don't see that. They choose to see what they want to see. I like pointing out buildings or houses that were being built, that the owner started building the house more than 20 years ago. Every year, one block. Every year, one block. Every one block. I said, this person lives abroad. And he drives a car when he comes here. Why can't he finish his house? It's not easy. Number three, I also, at the same time, make people understand that the life in abroad is not a life of, it's not an easy life. If you want to travel abroad to make a life ends meeting, to make your ends, you need to consider two things. If you are back home, you are hungry. You cannot afford 3 square meals. People are dying of hunger. Then God bless you. Come over here. At least I can guarantee you there will be food kitchen for you to eat. You're going to find food kitchen. You're going to find. You will not die of hunger. You will not die of health care, but you will not make enough money to send abroad. So until you get stabilized, it might take you years to stabilize. And then last but not least, I tell people to try as much as possible to make their home a home. both here and abroad. I've been to a man in Lagos. I went to see my friend in Lagos. His office is like also 5,000 square foot office. 5,000 square foot office, a big signboard. That's where he goes in there to do his business. He, his wife, and 7 children live in 1-bedroom apartment.
Oh, Lord.
So he's this big man with a 5,000
Wow.
square foot office. People come in, oh, this man is rich.
Yeah,
He's this,
impressing the
he's
wrong
this, he's this, he's this. You go back home, 1-bedroom apartment in a richest neighborhood. Himself and his family are living there with up to 6 or 7 children. And I say, what the hell are you doing here? What the hell? Same thing born out to our brother and sisters here. There is no need for you to come to America and live in 1-bedroom apartment and go build a big 10-bedroom house in Africa.
Exactly, which you may never even live in.
Because you're trying to impress people. Again, if you have the money, God bless your soul, you build it. And at the same time, you don't go with the trend of, you go by what you feel is right.
Exactly.
You go by what you feel is right and don't go by the trend. You know, there's no reason for me to buy the most expensive car and go to there and drive it for 1 week or 2 weeks because I want to now have arrived. While I'm driving a 1980 model car here in America that would spoil on the road. So you try to make use of your life. If you live in Africa, get the best things you need to live, make your life comfortable. Get a good house if you can afford it. If you want to come abroad, please think before you travel. I know so many Africans who have sold land. I mean, land is different. Who have sold a 3-bedroom apartment or 3-bedroom duplex or a 4-story building in a city to travel abroad. They spend 20 years here and they never get to build it back. So, cut a long story short, for every one successful African man or a guy from my village who come out from America to come and show off, or from London, for every one, there is another 50 who are living on the street in Europe, begging for food. So that's the point. And finally, there are so many people that I know, they try to go abroad on road. They leave Nigeria to Libya, Libya to cross, and their family have not heard from them for the past 15 years. They are still hoping. They are dead. They are all gone. God forbid me. God forgive me. But if your family have not called you for 15 years because he was going to Italy through the road, he died in the desert of Libya.
Or they were enslaved. Or his
enslaved. Or some, I don't know, but it's real. I mean, I try to point out examples. I have examples in my villages. This man has not been home for more than 20 years, has not sent a dime, he's abroad. Go ask the family how they feel about it. This man, I know him in America, he's okay in America, but he has not been home here for more than 20 years. He cannot afford $1,000 to buy a ticket to come to Nigeria, talking of coming to share money to you guys. This man sold all this land to travel to America to go make life in. Now the family have no farmland, and he has not actually brought any money for him to live. So think twice. Abroad is great. You can make it fine, and don't go undocumented unless you are willing to take some risks. That is very, very clear. Husband and wife. My husband wants to go abroad to bring me back. Your husband is going to divorce you, get married, then live with an American lady, and knock on the wood. If it becomes juicy and sweet, he will forget about you.
We're going to be talking about immigration next year. We discuss immigration multiple times in the last 3 years. So
Okay.
this is important. This is important because we need our people to know this. So immigration, we actually did a series on immigration. You know, we actually have a series. Yeah, so.
We did. Yeah.
I'll stop here.
So, okay, thank you so much. Did Comfort come back? Did you see her come back?
She's muted. I don't know.
Yeah.
Wait. Comfort, can you hear us? Comfort.
Not really. Okay. Sylvia, please. Your turn now. tell us more about living according to your means, living within your means, living, cutting your coat according to your cloth. We are in the last minutes of the program, the last 15 minutes, I believe.
No,
so
last
let us.
Minutes. Last 8 minutes.
Oh, okay. Okay, last 8 minutes. So Sylvia, please. Did she drop off too?
No. Her phone is, she's muted. You're muted.
Yeah.
Sylvia,
Okay.
you're muted.
I'm muting myself. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, I was doing something and I didn't want to put the noise on the conversation.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was saying
Right.
I want to agree with the doctor about the way he explained living within our means of coming overseas and trying to live this fictitious life, which actually is not even a successful life for oneself. And for sure, I would also like to discourage those who... Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Comfort.
Okay.
Is that
Dr. Brian, wait.
Hello?
Well, somebody said hello.
That was
Hello?
Comfort, can you hear us?
Hi, how are you?
Okay,
We're
go
fine.
ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Let us speak. Let us speak.
No. She's
Yeah.
talking to somebody else.
Oh, okay.
Does she continue?
So, okay.
Yeah, go
Okay,
ahead,
Sylvia,
baby.
you go ahead. Yeah.
Yes, as I was saying, yes, I want to also allude to what the esteemed doctor said about us coming overseas and wanting to live above our means when we're so comfortable in Africa, the big juicy houses we have, the beautiful land we have, and everything else that is back there. We come here, we can't make it, but still we don't want to go back home. He just talked about knowing somebody or some people who are stranded and are living in the US. I do too. And unfortunately, the 3 that I know are Nigerians and they're on the streets begging. They have never gone home. Immigration gave them a choice to go home, and all of them are saying, well, we don't even know where home is anymore because I haven't been going home. I haven't sent any money home, and I don't have anything. Now, that is a crying shame. You're calling yourself doctor, somebody with a PhD, and yet you're homeless. What kind of nonsense be this one? We need to learn that when we are overseas, we also start taking care of the people back home, because one day you want to go back home. As much as we may proclaim and say, oh, I'm never going back to Zambia. Oh, I'm never going to blah, 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 blah. But guess what? When I'm getting older now, shoot, I'm dying to go back home and live there.
That's
and
home.
I just thank God that I have had the occasion to be going back home. And I believe I've been good to my family in my little way and in my little means. And I'm sure if anything had to go wrong or anything had to happen, they'll welcome me home. So a word to the wise. Those of you who are looking to come abroad, it's not all glitz and glamour. It's not everybody that comes out here and makes it successfully, bam, on the first day or the first 4 or 5 years. Like the doctor says, the husband will come here or the wife will come here. The wife will find another man, get married to the man, and forget about your big old head. The husband will come here, marry another woman, forget about your big old head. And what have you done to yourself? You've broken your family. Let's live within our means and try to make life happen. Even back home, we can make life happen. A lot of people that I left when I was in Zambia and when I was in college and stuff, right now when I go back, I see the huge mansions they built, and I'm struck, with awe to say, my goodness, look how beautiful Zambia has become. I get lost in my own country because of the vast development that has happened. The diaspora, yes, has come in, and the diaspora has poured money into the country. But we also should give credit to those who have remained in the country. Without them, our countries would not be thriving. Without them, our infrastructure developments would not be as good as they are. Without them, we would not know as much as we know about our country, because they are teaching us just like we're learning from them. So let's not deceive ourselves by saying, when I go to the United States, I'll live a better life. That's a lie. Not everybody is going to live a successful life. So those of you who can make it back home, I would give you the urge to say, try before you come out here. Don't mess up your family. Don't mess up your life. Because when you come here, sometimes you get into great depressions. And those depressions will call for medications. Those medications call for insurance. And if you don't have the papers, you're undocumented, guess what? You don't have insurance. You'll be dodgy everywhere you go. So is that really the life you want to live when you come to the United States? Think about it and think wisely. May God bless us all. Thank you.
And while we think about that, Sylvia, I wanted to just add this piece that we get in politics all the time. When you're upstairs, remember those who are downstairs, because on your way back downstairs, you will meet those people down there. And if you do not take care of them while you were upstairs, they will, like the birds did, take away their goodies, and you'll drop like the tortoise and crash. And of course, you'll break all your bones. So please, while you're upstairs, take care of those who are downstairs so that when you fall on a comfortable bed. That said, you will not be shy of going back.
Yeah,
Yes.
Comfort is, Comfort, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, we are in the last minutes of the program, and you've not spoken for a while, so wanted at all costs to have you say your last word on this program today.
Okay, thank you so much, Nia Song. I want to say that it has been very, very educative. You guys have really dug into it. It is true that it is not all roses here. If you come here, you have to still maintain your family and know that here is different. Here you need to really work harder. Don't forget your family. Don't keep following the dollars. Your family is gold. You can have all the dollars, but you will not even be happy if your children become wayward. So back, we're saying to our families back home that we really, really know what they are doing there. If we support them or we don't support them, they should know that back home is always the best. Thank you all so much, and I have learned a lot too. Bye-bye.
Home is home. Thank you so very much. Dr. Ogoji, last word.
Oh. Well, again, I'll go with my father saying, cut your coat according to your pockets.
Great.
And you
Thank you.
try to impress yourself and not people. Only you can impress yourself. Other people can get impressed. People can let's impress yourself and not people, period.
Reverend Pam and Sylvia, both of you, who goes first, decide.
Sister Sylvia.
Yes.
Okay, yes.
Like I said, let's live within our means. Let's be real about who we are and what we are. And let's stop all this envy, because envy doesn't take anybody anywhere, but mostly lands you into trouble. And like I said, depression is a true disease, and depression is a killer. Don't start wanting to live like the Joneses. And when you come to try to live like the Joneses, you can't make it, you get yourself depressed. Stop and think, stop, look, and listen. And we may all be saving a life. God bless us all.
Thank you very much, Reverend Pam. Yes.
I'll make this quick. Let's live within our means. And for those of us who are being targeted because people are trying to be like us, don't feel depressed or be distracted. Continue to be who you are. The only person whose opinion of you count is yours and that of God. Let them keep trying to compete with you. By the time they get to where, that's if they ever get to where you are, God would have promoted you beyond where they're trying to get to. And to those who are doing that, I will advise you, that's bondage. That's hell on earth. Just be happy with who you are. Ask God to direct you and guide you and help you be happy with what you have. Stop being covetous. Niason.
Thank you all very much. If you know what you are making a month, live within what you are making. Don't seek to get more than that. Don't seek to live beyond what you are making. And please, whatever it takes, know that you know who you are, be who you are, and remain who you are. Thank you all so very much for participating or for listening in. We look forward to having you again during the week and next Sunday. Have a great week.
Thank
Bye
you.
for now.
Bye,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Good night.
Same trip, Dr. Ogoji.
Yeah, I'm on next week. We'll talk next week. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, all right.
Okay, God
Yeah.
bless.
Great.
Good night.
Great. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.